Hi everyone, it's Daniel Schleig again here. My apologies for the difficulties. We will wait a couple minutes and wait for people to join in here, then we'll get started again. It looks like it's working a lot better now, so we should be nice and smooth for the rest of the class here. Hope you guys had a great Friday. Are ready to move, because I know I am. Okay, we gotta check in. We have 3 or 4 people watching. We'll give it another minute and then we'll get started. If you want to still stay on your back, if you're still there, you can do that. You can gently rock from left to right if you'd like. You can keep extending both legs, inhaling and exhaling. And we'll just pick back up in a minute. Appreciate you guys working with me while we figure out all the little kinks with the live streaming. It's always something when you go live, but we're working through it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started where we left off. So, go ahead and start on your backs, if you're not already there. And we left off with some knee rotation, so let's just come back to that just in case we missed it. So with those knee rotations, let's extend that left leg forward, left palm down to the left thigh, right palm on top of that right knee, and let's gently rotate that knee out into circles. It's like you're drawing circles on the ceiling. Gently pressing down with this left thigh. And go ahead and switch that up. So let's extend that left leg forward, right palm on that right thigh, and now left palm on that left knee. Just go in gentle rotations. Just do one direction here, we'll catch up. Keep making those circles. Just making sure we're still streaming okay here. Alright, looking good, okay. So come back to stillness, hug both knees back into your chest. Give a nice squeeze of that navel in and down, hugging those knees into your chest. One more inhale. And exhale. Okay, we're coming back up to a comfortable seated position, so get there your way. Sometimes you like to hold on to the back of your thighs. Maybe you like to roll up and down your spine a little bit. Or maybe just like to let your knees fall off to the side and press yourself up. We're going to meet in a comfortable seated position with our legs crossed. Now, with that, have your hands start on your knees, palms face down. Try and root both sit bones into the ground. Take an inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. All right, let's move those arms. So let's inhale, both arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, turn to your right, drop both arms down outside your right leg. Inhaling back up to center, both arms up, palms touch. And exhale, release down to your left. Let's do that again. Inhale back to center, both arms up. Exhale down to your right, both arms outside that right leg. Inhale back up to center. And exhale, both arms down to the left. Let's inhale both arms back up to center. And exhale down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Alright, now let's extend both arms out. Let's revisit that internal and external rotation. So we've been doing this all week, and it's for a reason. And it really allows us to connect deeper in our poses, especially with these side angle poses that we've been doing. So with your palms down, your thumbs face forward, let's just do a little reminder, our internal rotation. So internal rotation, thumbs come down, palms face back, maybe your palms start to face up. External rotation, thumbs come forward, thumbs come up, thumbs face back, and then palms face up. Let's reverse that, come back to internal rotation. Thumbs come forward, down, palms face back. And reversing that, thumbs come forward and up, palms face up. And return back to neutral. And release your hands down to your side. Just go ahead and shake your arms out a little bit. We're just going to do that one more time, but then we're going to add raising our arms up. So again, you can feel how that feels when you raise your arm up with either internal or external rotation. Some of you may remember from yesterday and earlier this week which one actually works a little bit better. But now it's, again, just a little reminder. So let's extend both arms out, palms face down. Let's do our external rotation to start. So thumbs come up and back, palms face up. Stay here for a breath. And then on your next inhale, lift your arms up just nice and slowly. Maybe your palms come to touch over your head, biceps by your ears. Now exhale, release those arms out to the side. Keep those palms still facing up until you have your hands, fingertips falling away from each other. And then rotate back down, palms face down. And release your palms down to the sides. Okay. Now, from here, let's do internal rotation. So let's extend both arms out, palms face down, and internally rotate. So thumbs come back, palms face back. So now your shoulders are starting to come forward a little bit. You might already feel some crunching. And now let's inhale, lift those arms up. See how far up you can lift. I can't get much farther than this. I don't know how far you can get, but this is about my capacity here. And just gently release that back down to where you started. Release your arms back to neutral with the palms face down. And release the hands down to the sides. So how did that feel for you? Take that into the rest of your practice. See what that internal and external rotation at the shoulder feels like. Okay, now we're going to come forward onto our knees. And we're coming into a modified tabletop to start on our forearms. Now, on our forearms here, we're just going to gently rock our hips back and left and right, I should say. So you're just gently rocking those hips left and right. You want to be in your forearm tabletop while you're doing this. So your palms and your forearms are on the ground. Your elbows are directly beneath your shoulders. Knees or hips width distance, tops of the feet to the ground. Keep rocking back left and right. And come back to neutral. Let's add some cat-cows here. So starting with our cow, let's inhale as we drop our navel, lift our chest, lift our head up. And exhale, round the back, hug the navel in and up, drop the head. Reversing that, inhale as we arch our back, send our heart forward. And exhale, round the back, hug the navel up. 2 more times. Inhale, arching the back, sending the heart forward. And exhale, rounding the back, hugging the navel up. 1 more time. Inhale, arching the back into cow. And exhale, rounding the back into cat. Let the head hang heavy. And return back to neutral position. And now we're going to press ourselves up and back. So you're going to press your hips back towards your heels. Now, if this isn't very comfortable for you to sit on your heels like this, you can either sit on a block if you'd like, or if you don't have a block and you can't sit on your heels like this comfortably, you can just sit in a cross-legged seated position as we were before. So either way, come into your comfortable way of sitting, and we're going to revisit some internal and external rotation here. So let's extend both arms out, both palms down. Now we're going to start with the left arm here. So start with your left arm. Let's externally rotate it so the thumb comes up and back, palm faces up. Lift that left arm up over your head. Bend that left elbow so that your palm rests on the back of your neck. Now with your right arm, we're going to do the opposite of that. We're going to internally rotate so the thumb comes down, the palm faces back. We're going to drop that right arm down, bend the right elbow so now the back of that right hand is on your lower back. Once you're here, see if you can maybe walk your fingertips closer to each other. Maybe those fingertips touch, maybe they don't, maybe you're just walking them closer to each other. Maybe you can actually clasp fingertips in it. I'm just going to turn around just so you can see. Either way, what you're going for here is you still want to lift up that left elbow and lift down that right elbow. If your fingers don't clasp together, that's fine. You're still trying to walk those fingertips closer if you can. But you're just pulling both elbows away from each other. Stay for 1 more breath. And exhale as you release that. Now we're going to reverse that and do the other side. So extend both arms out, palms down, starting with the right arm this time. We're going to externally rotate. The thumb comes up and back, palm faces up. Lift that right arm up, bend that right elbow, the right palm comes to that lower back, so that lower neck area. Now internally rotate that left arm, swing that left arm back, bend that left elbow, back of that left palm comes to that lower back. You can stay here, or if you want to walk those fingertips closer to each other, you can. Maybe your fingertips clasp. A lot of times it's a little bit different on both sides, depending on if you're right or left-handed. This side's a little bit more challenging for me. It might be different for you. Keep breathing into your chest, trying to raise the back ribs up, pressing down on those sit bones, and just gently pulling each elbow away. Lifting that right elbow up and lifting the left elbow down. Stay for one more breath here. And exhale, release wherever you are, both arms out to the sides, both arms down, and we're coming into our tabletop. In our tabletop here, knees are underneath the hips, arms are shoulder width distance, nice neutral spine. You're going to curl the toes under now, and you're going to lift your knees up off the ground about 2 inches. Now we're staying here for a couple breaths. If you need to, you can always drop back down to your knees, but otherwise you're just lifting your knees, you're hovering just about 1 inch or 2 off the ground. Staying for one more breath here. Okay, now stay here, exhale, and now you're going to lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Take your time. Beginning to straighten your legs. Maybe you walk your feet back or forward a little bit. Coming into our first downward facing dog, so go ahead and pedal out those legs. Maybe lift up one heel, lift the other. Just loosening up the backs of the legs. Even while you do that, you should still be pressing your chest back towards your thighs. Pressing the base of each finger and each palm into the mat. 2 more breaths here as you still pedal out. And just come back to neutral, come back to stillness. Both legs are straight. They can have a nice gentle bend in the knees if you'd like. Now inhale as you gaze forward. Bend the knees, exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Let's keep moving. Inhale, arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, knees can bend. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Place both palms to the mat. Make sure you're nice and secure. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And once your palms are on the mat, step your right foot back, step your left foot back, or coming into plank pose. First plank pose here, you can always drop to your knees if you need to. Otherwise, staying in plank, having your shoulders over your wrists. Fingers are nice and spread, pressing down to the base of each finger and each palm, just like in downward facing dog. One more breath here. And drop your knees. Shift forward as you exhale. Bend the elbows back as you lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. Press the tops of your feet and your hips into the mat. On your next inhale, lift up into your baby cobra. Draw the backs of your shoulder blades together. Elbows are bending back. Stay for one more breath. And exhale, release down. Curl those back toes under. Press yourself up into tabletop. Lift those hips up and back into downward facing dog. We're here for 3 breaths. If you ever need a break in downward facing dog, you can bend your knees a little bit more. You can lower your knees all the way to the ground and get your modified tabletop. Just do what works for you. If you're in downward facing dog, try to press those heels back towards the mat. One more breath here. Exhale. Now inhale as you gaze forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. All right. So we're going to move right into a balancing pose, and we're going to add a little something to it, something you may not have done before. But I like this exercise. I like adding to this pose just because it gives a little different feeling and it can translate into other poses. So you're going to start at the top of your mat, feet are hips width distance, heels behind the center toes. Arms are down by your sides, palms face forward. Actively drawing the tailbone down towards the heels, lift the hips up towards those front bottom ribs. Soften the shoulder blades away from the chest. Slight tuck of the chin. Take an inhale here. And exhale. Alright, so we're going to come into tree pose. So place your hands at your hips to start. Shift some weight into your right leg. Let's start there. Bend your left knee so your left heel comes off the ground. Externally rotate that left knee out to the side. That entire left leg rotates, but try and keep your pelvis neutral. You can stay here, or if you'd like, try and place the bottom of that foot on the inside edge of that right shin. You can take those toes off the ground below the knee, or if you want to come up a little bit farther, you can skip the knee and place the bottom of that left foot on that inner right thigh. Now hug that outer right hip in. That's really important here as you press that foot into the mat. Also pressing that left foot into your thigh. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. Take an inhale here. And exhale. Now let's raise those arms out and up if you'd like. Grow your branches in your tree. Stay for a breath. And exhale. Now stay in your tree. Release your hands back down to the center of your chest. And here we go. We're going to add on to this. You're doing great so far. Keep hugging that outer left thigh in. Drop your left arm to the inside edge of that left thigh so your left palm faces forward. Release this right hand down to your right hip. Keep pressing that right foot into the ground. Now we're going to start to straighten this left leg, the leg that has the bent knee. So keep pressing that right foot into the ground as you start to extend that left leg out to your capacity. Your leg might not straighten, but try not to send your back straight. Try and keep your pelvis neutral and just rotate your leg out and straighten it as much as you can. Flex those toes. That left hand is here to help kind of keep that leg from coming in too much. Stay for one more breath here. And exhale, come back into your tree pose just for a breath. And release that down to the mat. Go ahead and shake that out. And we're doing that for a reason. We're going to do the other side so you kind of know what to expect. I'll explain a little more later. So start with your feet hips width distance, heels behind those center toes, arms down by your sides. Let's shift some weight into that left leg this time. Bend that right knee. Right heel comes off the ground. Externally rotate that entire right leg. Be mindful of that pelvis shifting. You want to keep that forward. With your hands at your thighs, you can send that bottom foot into that left shin. You can raise those right toes off the ground if you'd like, or those right foot can come up on top of that right knee into that left thigh. Either way, hugging this outer left thigh in as much as you can as you press that left foot into the mat. Bring both palms to the center of your chest. Take an inhale here. And exhale. Stay here if you'd like. Grow your branches. Arms raise out and up. Palms face each other. Stay for a breath here. And exhale, release the hands down to your center of your chest. Stay here in a tree pose. We're coming into that leg extension again. So have your left arm to your left hip. Release that right arm down. So right palm faces forward into that inner thigh. Take an inhale. And exhale. Now you're going to begin to straighten that right leg. Try not to move your pelvis or your other leg too much. Make sure you have your balance. Try to straighten that leg, flexing that right foot as much as you can. Using that right arm to just anchor that right leg out slightly. Stay for one more breath here. And exhale, bring it back into tree pose. And release that right leg to meet the left. And shake it out. I know that can really feel funny. You may not have even straightened your leg that much. You may have straightened it way more than I have. May not have gotten too much elevation there, but that's fine. It's going to work into what we're going to get into next. So let's come back to the top of your mat. With your feet hip width distance, heels behind those center toes. Take an inhale here. And exhale. Alright, we're coming into our chair pose. So let's inhale, bend the knees, send the palms forward. Now take a peek down, make sure you can look down and see those toes. If those toes are covered, you need to shift those hips back a little bit more. Your arms are slightly externally rotated, the palms are facing forward. See how that feels. Stay for a breath here. And exhale. Now we're going to bend forward into our forward fold, so send your heart forward and down. Knees can stay bent. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Place your palms to the mat. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back into plank. Now from here, we're staying for 2 or 3 breaths. You can always drop to your knees if you need to. Keeping those shoulders over the wrists. Heels are pressing back towards the ground. 1 more breath here. Everyone drop to your knees. Shift the torso forward. Bend the elbows back, lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl those back toes. Lift your head up and your chest up into your baby cobra. Draw the backs of the shoulder blades together. Staying here for 1 more breath. And exhale. Curl those back toes under. Press yourself up into tabletop. Lift those hips up and back into downward facing dog. From here, go ahead and lift your right leg up. Press that right heel back. Flex those right toes. And then bend your right knee, send it into your chest, shift your torso forward. You're in a modified plank pose with that right knee bent. Now drop that right foot to the mat wherever it lands, and then walk that right foot up to the top of the mat. Make sure your right foot is on that right side of the mat, left foot is on the left side of the mat. Drop your left arm down right underneath your left shoulder. Your left palm can come to the ground, or you can come up on your left fingertips. Keep hugging this right thigh in, and then lift your right arm out and up. Look up at those right fingertips. Keep pressing that left heel back. Left leg should be straight. You can have a slight bend in that left knee if you need. But that right palm rotates forward, externally rotates so that right palm faces forward. Stay for 1 more breath here. And exhale, release that right palm to the ground. Press both palms into the mat. See if you can lift that right leg up. Send it back into your plank pose. Drop the knees to the ground. Shift the torso forward. Bend the elbows lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. Lift up into your baby cobra. Maybe you're going to full cobra with the arms straight. Keeping the shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, releasing down to the mat. Curl those back toes under. Press yourself up into tabletop. Lift those hips up and back into downward facing dog. We're moving to that other side this time. So lift that left leg up and back, straighten the left leg. Left toes are flexed. Bend that left knee, send it into your chest, shifting the torso forward. Shoulders are over wrists. And then drop that left foot wherever it lands. And then walk it to the top of your mat in between both arms. Now from here, make sure you have your left foot on your left side, right foot's on that right side of the mat, both toes are facing forward, and right hand becomes directly beneath your right shoulder, or you can come up on your right fingertips. Keep hugging this outer left thigh in, and then rotate your chest out and up, raising that left arm up. Left palm faces forward, that left arm is externally rotated. Staying here for 2 breaths. Keep pressing that back right heel back towards the mat to straighten that right leg. 1 more breath here. And exhale, release that left arm down to the mat. Press both palms into the mat. See if you can lift that left knee up into your chest, send it back into plank pose. Drop your knees to the ground. Shift your torso forward, bend the elbows lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl those back toes. Inhale, lift your head up and your chest up into baby cobra or full cobra with the arms straight. Either way, hugging those outer ankles in towards each other. Exhale, releasing down to the mat. Curling those back toes under. Press yourself up into tabletop. Lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. We're here for 3 breaths. Making sure you're pressing down to the base of each finger and each palm. Pressing the heels back towards the mat. Spinning those inner thighs in and back, lifting those hips up towards the ceiling. Pressing the chest back towards the thighs. One more inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, gaze forward. Bend the knees, exhale, walker step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. All right. Great job so far. You can shake it out a little bit. We're coming to the face the long edge of our mat. We're coming into a wide-legged stance. So again, quick little reminder about how to get into Warrior 2. We're going to come into that a couple times today. But from a wide-legged stance, starting here, legs are 1 leg's distance apart. Feet are nice and parallel with those heels behind the center toes. Bring your hands to your hips. And I'm going to start with my left leg first. So my left leg turns out. My left toes face forward. My right toes turn in slightly. So now I have the heel to arch alignment. Maybe you need to walk your toes a little over just to make sure you have that heel to arch alignment. Bend that left knee over that left ankle. Make sure that left knee tracks to the outer edge of that left foot, that left pinky toe. Square the shoulders up towards the long edge of your mat. Extend both arms out, palms face down. And turn your neck to look over those left fingertips. Stay for a breath. And exhale. Okay, we're going to inhale as we straighten that front left leg and bring both arms up, palms touch. Exhale back down into your Warrior 2. Inhale, lift, straighten that front leg, both palms touch. Exhale, Warrior 2. 2 more times. Inhale, straighten that front leg, both palms touch. Exhale, Warrior 2. Last time, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend that left knee, Warrior 2. Again, make sure that left knee is tracking over that left ankle. Now we're coming into our side angle. What we're going to do is we're going to shift our torso forward so that left hand reaches as far as it can. When it can't go any further, you're going to drop that left arm down to the inside edge of that left thigh. Then you're going to raise that right arm up, just like where we were before. Maybe this right hand comes to the ground, fingertips face back. Left palm faces forward. Keep having that right palm face forward as well. Hug that outer left thigh in. Press back to the outer edge of that left foot. Stay for 1 more breath. Exhale, we're staying here. Press down through the feet. You're going to lift yourself up back into your Warrior 2. Staying for a breath here. And exhale, spin that right arm forward. Drop both arms down to either edge of that left foot. Come up on that right heel. Send that left foot to meet the back foot. We're in our plank pose. Drop the knees to the ground. Shift the torso forward. Bend the elbows lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. Lift your hips up and your pelvis, your chest up into your baby cobra or full cobra. Maybe you come into upward facing dog, lifting your entire legs off the ground, pressing down through the tops of those toes. And exhale, release all the way to the mat, forehead to the mat. Curl the back toes under, press yourself up into tabletop. Lift your hips up into downward facing dog. We're here just for a breath. Inhale, gaze forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walker step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. All right. Have that little Warrior 2 to extended side angle go on your left side. We're going to do the right side now. So take some notes on how it felt on that first side. Learn from that. Take it into your next side. Start with the wide-legged stance again. Heels behind those center toes. Feet are nice and parallel to start. So now I have my right leg here. I'm going to externally rotate my right leg so my right toes face forward. Slightly internally rotate that left leg so the left toes come forward. Look for that heel to arch alignment. If you need to, you might need to wiggle that front foot a little bit. So you have that heel to arch alignment. Now with your hands at your thighs, send your shoulders, square them up with the long edge side of your mat. Bend that right knee over that right ankle, making sure that right knee tracks to the outer edge of that right foot, not the inside edge, but the outer edge. With your shoulders square, extend both arms out, palms face down, and turn your neck to look over those right fingertips. Stay for a breath here. And exhale. Now we're going to straighten that front right knee and send both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, come back down into your warrior two pose. Inhale, straighten that front leg, both arms up, palms touch. Exhale into warrior two. 2 more times. Inhale, straighten that front leg, both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, warrior two. 1 more time, lift both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, warrior two. Making sure that right knee is tracking to the outer edge of that right foot. We're coming into our extended side angle. So we're going to send that right arm forward as much as you can, sending that right torso forward. When you can't go any farther, you're going to release that right arm down, right palm faces in, and then lift that left arm up, externally rotating so that left palm faces forward. Stay here, or maybe that right arm drops to the ground. You can come up on those right fingertips, or right palm can come to the ground. Either way, those fingertips are going to face back, palm's going to face forward on both hands. Keep that right knee tracking over that right toe. Stay for 1 more breath here. Press the feet down to the mat. Inhale as you lift yourself back up into warrior two. And send that left arm forward, both arms down to either side of that right foot. Lift up on that back heel. Send that right foot to meet the back foot. You're in your plank pose. Drop your knees to the mat. Shift the torso forward. Bend the elbows lower all the way to the ground. Uncurl the back toes. Inhale, lift your head up and your chest up into your version of cobra. Baby cobra or full cobra. We're here for 1 more breath. Exhale, release down to the mat. Forehead to the mat. Curl the back toes under. Press yourself up. We're staying in tabletop for a moment. And then you're going to press your hips back. Uncurl those back toes. Coming into your version of child's pose. Knees can be hips width distance together or to the width of your mat. Big toes can be touching or separated out to hips width distance. Arms can be forward, palms face down, or you can send both arms back towards your feet. Forehead to the mat or the block, whatever works for you. Just start to take some nice deep breaths here. Reconnecting with your breath in case you lost it during those challenging little sequences there. We're not quite done yet. We're still going to ramp it up a little bit, so take your little break here. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Okay, now begin to press yourself back up into your tabletop. You may need to walk your hands back slightly. You're going to curl your back toes under, lift the hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Inhale as you gaze forward, bend the knees, exhale, walk your step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Okay, coming into wide-legged stance 1 more time. And we're going to do a version of Prasarita Padottanasana. This is with our arms bound. So, have your feet nice and wide, 1 leg's distance apart. You still want to be stable here. And again, those feet should be parallel, so those heels should be directly behind those center toes. Now we're going to clasp our hands behind our back. So, you're going to interlace the fingers behind your back. Turn around just so you can see this to start. With your legs wide, begin by bringing the base of the palms together with your fingers clasped. Once you have the base of your palms together, try to straighten your arms. Arms will come straight down. Broaden those collarbones, separate the shoulders, draw the backs of the shoulder blades together. And once you're here, once the base of your palms are together, once your arms are straight, then maybe you can start to lift your wrists off your lower back. Either way, wherever you are, We're now going to take an inhale as we have a slight back bend, look up. And exhale, take your time. We're coming into a forward fold with our arms bound here. Take your time as you shift forward into the balls of your toes. Lower slowly. Keep hugging the legs in towards each other for stability. Just go to your capacity. Maybe you can lift those arms off your back slightly more. Keep shifting the weight into the toes, but keep your heels on the ground. Keep hugging those legs in towards each other, engaging the muscles in the legs. Stay for one more breath. Exhale, stay low, release the clasp of your fingers, let the arms gently fall to the ground. You're on your fingertips or your palms come down to the mat. Now you're going to lift up halfway. Slight bend in the knees as you bring your hands towards your hips, and you're going to lift your torso back up to standing in your wide-legged stance. Whew. Great job. All right, heel toe those feet back in, hips width distance. Shake it out a little bit. And let's come back to the top of your mat with your feet hips width distance. Getting right into it. Here we go. Okay, feet are hips width distance, heels behind the center toes, arms are down to the sides, palms face each other. Palms face forward, I should say. Now we're coming back into our chair pose. So bend the knees, send the hips back, arms come forward, palms face each other. Now bring your hands to the center of your chest, palms face each other. You're in your prayer pose, but still in your chair pose. Inhale to lengthen. We're going to add a twist. So exhale, turn to your right. Now as you turn to your right, to that left thigh come forward. Try and send it back so you can look down and your knees are still neutral. You can stay here, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can bend the knees a little bit more. Send the outside edge of that left elbow to the outside edge of that right knee. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you twist. One more breath here. And exhale. We're staying in our chair pose, so release your twist, come back to center. And we're going to the other side. So inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. Again, hug that right knee back if it came forward. You can stay up here, or if you want to drop the outer right elbow to the outer edge of that left knee. Keep pressing the palms in towards each other. Brawn through those collarbones. Open up that left shoulder blade. Stay for 2 breaths here. One more inhale. And exhale, coming back to center, still in your chair pose with your palms together. And exhale, release that fold forward. Stay in your forward fold just for a breath here. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's inhale, send ourselves into our flat back, hands to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Place your palms to the mat. Send your right foot back. Send your left foot back into your plank. Now from your plank, you're going to come into forearm plank. So take your time here. We're going to lower one forearm to the ground and then the other forearm to the ground. Try not to shift your hips too much, but once you're in your forearm plank, you can stay here. If you need to drop to your knees, you can. If you're still on your forearms and on your feet, you're going to walk them forward into your dolphin pose. So your forearms are still on the ground, palms are pressing down, and you're walking your feet in a little bit closer, maybe 2 or 3 steps closer. The idea is to have your shoulders over your elbows. Dolphin pose here. Stay for a breath. And exhale. Now drop your knees to the ground. Uncurl those back toes. And send yourself back into your Balasana, child's pose. We're here just for a breath. As we're moving into our final pose, our final peak pose, I should say. Okay, lift those hips up. Place your palms down into your tabletop. Curl those back toes under. Lift your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Now lift that right leg up again, just how we did before. Flexing those right toes, pressing that right heel back. And now bend your right knee, send it into your chest, shift your torso forward, shoulders over wrists. Drop that right foot wherever it lands, and then walk that right foot to the top of your mat. Just gonna switch so you can see this better. Now we're coming into Warrior 2 pose from here. I should say Warrior 2 feet. So you're gonna drop that left heel down. You're gonna heel toe this right foot over so that you have heel to arch alignment, and have those left toes slightly forward than the left heel. You know, we're looking for that Warrior 2 alignment here. Now, from here, send that right arm to the inside edge of that right foot, and extend that left arm up. You're coming into your side angle pose again from here. Take a breath, and exhale. Now press both feet down into the mat. We're lifting up into Warrior 2, so inhale, press yourself, lift your torso back up into Warrior 2. Okay, so we're coming into our extended side angle pose again, but this time we have the option of binding. So here we go. We're gonna send our right arm forward, release that right arm to the inside edge, left arm comes up. Now take this left arm, internally rotate it, thumb comes forward and back, palm faces back. Send that arm behind you, bend that left knee, back of that left palm comes to the lower back. Maybe you can send it down a little bit further so that it comes inside that right thigh. This right arm can stay here, or if you'd like, here we go, we're gonna extend that right arm forward so that right palm faces up. Keep tracking that right knee over that right tiny toe, that right outside of the toe. Slight tuck of the chin, gaze can either be to the ground or to the ceiling. Keep pressing back to the outer edge of that left thigh, staying for one more breath here. And exhale, release that right arm down first, release that left bind if you have it, send that left arm back up, and release that left arm forward and down. Right arm comes outside that right foot, tent up on that back heel, send that right foot to meet the back foot, you're in your plank, drop your knees to the mat, shift the torso forward, bend the elbows over all the way to the ground, uncurl the back toes, lift up into your version of back bend, and exhale, release to the mat. Curl the back toes under, press yourself up into tabletop. Lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Now we're coming to the other side here. I'm just going to switch so you can see. So you're going to lift your left leg up, left heel is flexed, pressing that left heel back towards your wall, and then you're going to bend that left knee, send it into your chest, shift your torso forward so those shoulders are over your wrists, drop that left foot to the mat. Maybe you have to wiggle those toes up to the top of your mat. Again, we're coming into our Warrior 2 feet from here. So drop that right heel to the mat. Maybe you have to wiggle those toes to get your heel to arch alignment. Once you have that, you're going to bring your left arm inside that left toe. And from here, you're going to open out, draw that right arm out and up, right palm faces forward. Keep tracking that left knee over that left pinky toe, hugging that outer left thigh in. This is just a practice for what's to come. You know what's coming after this. Okay, press both heels into the mat. We're inhaling up into our Warrior 2 pose. Both arms extend out. Now we're coming into our extended side angle now with the option for a bind. So we're going to send our left arm forward, release that left arm down to the inside edge, and raise that right arm up. Now internally rotate that right arm, the thumb comes in and back, palm faces back. Send that right hand behind, bend that right elbow. Maybe you place the back of that right palm to your lower back, or you can go a little bit further, and that right arm tucks inside that left thigh. Stay here, or if you'd like, extend that left arm forward so that left palm faces up. Keep pressing back to that outer right leg. Press down to that left heel. Left knee tracks over that left pinky toe. One more breath here. And exhale, release that left arm. Release the bind if you have it. Right arm comes up, right palm faces forward. And release that right palm down. Left arm to the outside edge of that left foot. Tent up on that right heel. Send that left foot to meet the back foot. You're in your plank pose. Drop to your knees. Shift your torso forward. Bend the elbows so we're all the way to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. Lift up into your version of back bend. Exhale, release. Curl those back toes into the mat. Press yourself up on the tabletop. Stay here. And press yourself back into your child's pose. Uncurl those back toes, tops of the toes to the mat. Send your hips back towards your heels. Forehead to the mat. Palms to the ground. Maybe you send your hands back toward your feet. And now's a good time to just connect back to your breathing. It can be easy to lose track of your breath while you're in those tricky postures, trying to go the extra distance. The more you can stay with your breath, the easier it is to advance into those more challenging postures. Stay in your child's pose for 2 more breaths. Okay, from your balasana, your child's pose, begin to walk your hands back up. You're coming back up, and we're going to send our legs out in front of us. I usually like to sit my hips off to one side, my legs come off to the other, and we're going to send both legs forward. So with both legs forward, out in front of us, both feet are flexed. Take both palms, place them to the outer edge of both thighs. Root down through your sit bones, keep your sit bones on the mat. Have a nice long spine, slight tuck of the chin. Again, feet are flexed, muscles in the legs are engaged, arms are straightened so muscles in the arms are engaged, and you're slightly hugging the navel in and back, lifting up, engaging all the muscles in your body, keeping the sit bones rooted. This is your Dandasana staff pose. Stay for 2 more breaths here. It doesn't look like much, but this pose is quite intense. 1 more breath here. And exhale, just release. Release any last little bit of tension. Now we're going to bend this right knee. Send this right foot to the outer edge of that left knee. Press that right big toe into the mat. Send this right arm behind you. Lift that left arm up and twist to your right, sending that left arm to the outside of that left knee. Try and only use that back right hand just for a little bit of stability. You're not using that to help you turn. Use more of your left arm to help you turn. You can inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, twist. 2 more breaths here. Keep pressing that big toe down into the mat. Flexing that left foot. Last breath here. Okay, release the twist, come back to center. Extend that right foot to meet the left foot. And we're going to switch to the other side. So bend that left knee. Send that left foot to the outer edge of that right knee. Press that left big toe into the mat. Release your left arm behind you. Extend that right arm up. And exhale as you twist right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Again, only using that back left hand just for a little bit of stability. Try and keep both sit bones rooted. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, twist. 2 more breaths here. Keep pressing that left big toe into the mat, flexing those right toes back toward your face. 1 more breath. And exhale as you release back to center. Extend both arms straight in front of you. And then scoot your butt up so you bend your knees and the bottom of each foot is on the ground. We're going to come into our Navasana pose. There's a couple different options for Navasana pose. But we're going to ease into it and then you can go up to your level. So we're going to hold this for a couple seconds. Now, arms can wrap around your shins. Now, as you do this, you're going to slowly pick up your toes as you start to rock yourself back. Start to get your balance as you lift your heels off the ground, maybe an inch or 2. This is the first option to stay here. If you'd like, you can then lift your shins up so that they're parallel with the mat. Try and keep your spine nice and long. Try not to round in order to make it happen. So keeping your spine nice and long, you can keep your hands wrapped around your shins or your thighs, or you can extend them forward, palms face up. Staying here, or last version if you'd like, straighten those legs, point those toes, coming into your full Navasana pose. Staying for 2 breaths wherever you are. Nice long spine. Draw the backs of the shoulder blades together. Stay for 1 more breath. And exhale, gently release those feet to the mat. Place the palms down to the ground and just lower back gently onto your lower back. Coming all the way onto our backs. Extending the legs forward. And place the palms down to the side, palms face down to start. Now bend your knees again, 1 more time. Walk the feet underneath the knees. And then heel toe those feet out to the width of the mat. So with your feet out to the width of their mat, we'll let the knees come into touch. Coming into our constructive rest pose here. And from here, we're going to gently rock our knees from side to side. So again, your feet are at the width of your mat, your knees are touching, and just gently rock your knees from side to side, very slowly. Just taking your time here. Got through quite a workout together here at the beach. I hope the sights and the sounds help transport you into another place today. I'm sure we all deserved it after another week cooped up in our houses or wherever we are. Keep rocking from left to right, just very gentle. And the next time your knees are to your right, you can stop there. Keep your knees to your right, and then maybe let your right knee fall all the way to the ground. You can stay here, or if you'd like to go a little bit further, you can have the outer edge of that right ankle go on top of that left knee. And you're just gently pressing down for a little twist here. Extend both arms out to a T, palms face up, or field goal pose. And we just have a gentle twist here. Your gaze can either be up towards the ceiling, or you can look over those left fingertips. One more breath here. If you have your right ankle on top of your left knee, release that. Gaze comes back up towards the ceiling, and release both knees back to center. Raise them back up to touch, and then let them fall off to the left side of your mat this time. With your left knees off to the side, you can stay here, or if you'd like, place the outer edge of that left ankle on top of that right knee. Now both arms still extended out into a T or field goal pose with the palms face up. Gaze can be towards the ceiling or over those right fingertips. And stay here for 2 breaths. Again, thank you all who joined me at the start when we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I appreciate you hanging tight as we restarted the stream today. And going a little bit longer into your evening as well. Okay, release that left ankle if it's on top of that right knee. And draw both knees back up to center. Heel toe your feet back into hips width distance. And extend both feet straight out. Release both hands down by your sides, palms face up. And we're coming into our Shavasana pose. You can let your knees and your feet fall out to the side. Anchoring those shoulders down into the mat, broadening the collarbones. Maybe your gaze starts to soften or your eyes close. Try and release any control over any little bit of tension or any muscles in your body. And even your breath, release any control. Just let it be. Shavasana can always be a time for reflection, or it can just be a time to release any thoughts, any feelings, any judgments over your practice. You just exist. And let's begin to bring some awareness back into your body. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and your toes. Begin to rotate your wrists and your ankles. You can switch directions in those rotations. And come back to stillness for one last breath here. And let's come onto your side. You can slightly bend your knees and roll over to one side of your body. Top arm and your knee come over to meet your bottom. Stay here for a breath. Try and keep your eyes closed or your gaze soften as you use your top arm to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position to complete our practice here. Coming into your version of your cross-legged seated position with your palms on top of your knees, palms face up, or palms into the center of your chest. Thank you for joining me in practice today. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in each one of you. Thank you. Peace. Oh, thank you all again. My name is Daniel Schleig. I appreciate you minding the technical difficulties to start. And if I made you go a little bit longer into your evening rather than you wanted, I apologize for that. But I really thank you. I'm glad we got in this practice Friday. Take this into your weekend however you feel now. I hope you feel good. I hope you feel like you tried something maybe that you haven't done before or done in a while. It was a lot of fun making the sequence this week. I'm always open for feedback. Going to be working on another sequence for next week, probably sticking with the same times at 7 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If those times seem to work for you, let me know. Give me some feedback. Leave it in the chat or comment on the video, or you can always email me. Those links are in the description. My email is just email@daniel.yoga. You can send me messages there if you'd like. There's also a link to the donation for Movable Feast. We always have that in all of our live streams here. So again, I hope you just enjoyed practice this evening. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening and your weekend to come. And I guess that's it. So thanks again. Peace.